Hello, algebra student, and welcome to Solving Equations with the Variable on Each Side. Yes, definitely one of the longest titles we've had in a lesson. But in this lesson, what you're going to do is you're going to be solving equations like you normally do, except that the variable that we are solving for may appear on either side of the equal sign, okay? And what we have to do is we have to just get it all together, just like we normally do, and solve for the value of the variable. Okay? So let's just jump right into it. Let's look at our first example. Our first example says 4k minus 3 equals 2k plus 5. Okay? So as you can see, we have the letter, the variable in our problem k on this side and on this side. Okay? So we have to get them together in order for us to help us solve for the variable. Now, we're going to do like we normally do, and that is we're going to draw a bridge going on the equal sign. Okay, that way we can separate the left side and the right side of the equal sign. And what we do is, or what I like to do, is I compare my coefficients. Remember, the coefficient is a number in front of the variable. I compare my coefficients on either side and look at the one that is less. Well, I see on the left side I have a 4, and on the right side I have a 2. So I know that 2 is less than 4. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to move that 2k to the other side. And to do that, I'm just going to subtract, because 2k is positive, subtract 2k over here, and subtract 2k over there. Okay? All right, then we're just going to draw a line. And we got 4k minus 2k, which gives us 2k. And then we bring down the minus 3. And that's going to equal to, well, the 2k's on the right-hand side are going to zero out, so I'm going to cancel that out. And I'm just left with a positive 5. And now we are back to a formula, or back to an equation that we should be more familiar with. And now we're just going to solve for that variable by adding 3 to both sides. So we gotta move that minus 3 since it has nothing to do with the variable. The 3's over here are gonna cancel out, and I'm gonna be left with 2k equals 8. Okay? And then to get k by itself, the opposite of 2k, which is 2 times k, opposite of that is divide. So we're gonna divide both sides by 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that cancels out. That's going to leave me with k. I'm just going to write that over here. K equals 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Okay? And that's going to be my solution. So all I had to do was start off by moving the one that is less than the other, the lesser coefficient, to the other side. And then I just solve it like normal. Okay? If we need to check our work, you can. If I put this 4 here, I know I'm going to have 4 times 4 minus 3, and 2 times 4 plus 5. And 4 times 4 is 16, minus 3 equals 13. 13, and then 2 times 4 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So therefore, we know that k equals 4 is the correct solution. All right, next example. 2 parentheses 8u plus 2 equals 3 parentheses 2u minus 7. Well, we're going to, of course, start off by drawing our bridge. Okay. And notice that we have 2 parentheses here. So the first thing we have to do, of course, is to get rid of them. And to do that, we're going to do the distributive property. Because remember that the number that's outside the parentheses tells us to multiply to each item in the parentheses. So this 2 gets multiplied to the 8, and this 2 to the 2. So 2 times 8u gives us 16u, and 2 times 2 gives us positive 4. So 16u plus 4 equals, then we're going to multiply the 3 times 2u on this side, so that's going to be 6u, And then 3 times a negative 7 is a negative 21. So we got 6u minus 21. Okay? So now, all we have to do is think about what we did in the last problem. Since we have a variable, the variable u on both sides of the equal sign, we look at the coefficients, and the coefficients are, remember, the numbers in front of the variable. So we know that the coefficient for this one is 16, and we know the coefficient for this one is 6. So which one is less? The 6. So we're going to take the 6 from the left side, from the right side, and we're going to subtract it from each side. So 6u goes over here, and it comes under here as well. Okay? And we're going to simplify this. So 16u minus 6u is going to be 10u. And then we got plus 4 equals, and then the 6u minus 6u are going to cancel out, and that's going to leave us with a negative 21. Okay? And then finally, we're just going to take not finally, but next step is we're going to take the plus 4 from the left side, and we're going to move it over, and we're going to do that by subtracting it. So just do minus 4 on both sides. And that's going to leave us with 10u, because the 4's here cancel out, equals negative 21 minus 4. Remember, they're both negative, so you know the answer is going to be negative, and then you just add the two numbers, 21 and 4, to get negative 25. Okay, and when you combine two negatives, that means you're just going to keep the sign and add the numbers. And then, since u is not by itself right yet, we have 10u, so 10 times u is 10u, so we divide it both sides by 10. And we're going to cancel out the 10s over here, and that's going to leave us with a u equals, and then we got negative over a positive, which is a negative, and then 25 over 10 is actually going to be a 2.5. Okay? So u equals negative 2.5. And once again, if you need to go back and check your work, you can. I'm going to leave that checking up to you. But trust me, u equals negative 2.5 is the correct solution. In our third example, looks real simple. All we have to do is figure out this problem, 7a minus 6 equals a negative 2a. Okay? Now, as you can see, of course, the a's are on different sides of the equal sign, so I'm going to go in and draw my bridge. Okay? And what we normally would do, of course, was try to get the a that is less, the coefficient that is less, moved to the other side. But notice, of course, that this negative 2a on the right-hand side is already alone. So really, it doesn't make any sense to move it and then move it again if we need to. So what we should just do is just get the a's together. So instead of moving the negative 2a on the right-hand side, we're actually going to move the 7a. And to move that 7a, we're just going to subtract it. So we're just going to do a minus 7a on each side. Okay? And then we're just going to draw the line. And 7a's cancel out on the left-hand side. That's going to leave us with a negative 6 equal to negative 2 minus 7 is going to give us a negative 9a. All right? Because, again, two negatives, when combining, you keep the sign and you add the numbers. And then since a needs to be by itself, we need to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of a, which is a negative 9. So we're going to divide both sides by a negative 9. Okay? And the negative 9s on the right-hand side are going to cancel out. That's going to leave us with a equals. And then a negative over a negative, remember, is a positive. When we divide, two negatives make a positive. So that's going to be a positive 6 over 9. But 6 over 9 can be reduced. And it can be reduced by dividing both numbers, the numerator and the denominator of 6 over 9, by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is going to give me 2, and 9 divided by 3 is going to give me 3. So the answer to this question is A equals 2/3. So sometimes, as we just said, You may not have to move the smaller one. Just make sure you get all the a's or all the variables together, and then just work your problem just like you normally have done. Okay? Now it's time for you to practice. So get your paper and pencil out, get ready to work out these 4 questions, and then you can get them worked out. Who knows? This might be extra credit that you may have to do, or maybe this is makeup work that you have to do. But go ahead now and work the 4 problems you're about to see. And if you need help, just go back and look at the questions we just did. All right? They should be very similar to the ones we just did. Okay? So here are the 4 problems. Okay, so get them jotted down. Make sure that you solve for the variable. And make sure you show your work. Okay, and once you got that, you are ready to move to work on solving for the variable, where a variable is on each side of the equal sign. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video.